All right, guys, here it is. The easiest way to get 100K. Doesn't matter if you're old, doesn't matter if you're young. This is the easiest way to do it, and I've done it myself to get over $250,000 in 0% interest capital. So, getting right into it, it's credit. A lot of you guys are gonna immediately wanna click off, oh, I already ruined my credit. I don't know the first thing about credit. Just listen. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You can make credit work for you. It just requires a little bit of patience and a little bit of work. And I'm gonna show you the exact step-by-step way to do it, all right? So to get started, why should you even care about credit, right? I was in the same boat. Most of my 20s, I used to think good credit was just a bragging rights, right? It's just a gimmick for cash back, cheaper car loans, whatever it may be. You get an apartment, woohoo. I didn't realize that there's a way you can literally get 6 figures for free and use that money to keep multiplying and multiplying into 7, 8 figures, all right? It's called business funding. Essentially how this works is you can get 100 to 250K for free from the banks, all right? This is 0% interest capital. You're not paying any interest. You're not paying fees. You get a whole year, 2, 3 years to leverage this money however you see fit. And through the process of doing that, you're also gonna get free travel for life, okay? If I caught your interest there, just listen, get a notepad, whatever it may be, consume this information, all right? It's gonna help you. Just this year, I've used these strategies to go to Miami, Dubai, Vegas, free travel, okay? I'm not paying, I'm using credit card points. We're not going to the Motel 6s or anything like that. We're going to nice hotels, okay? We're traveling for free on nice airlines. We're getting nice hotels. We're getting Ritz-Carltons, the Fontainebleau, Waldorf Astoria, all the nice places, okay? And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this. So to get started, we're gonna go through this as if you have no credit history at all, okay? If you have some credit history, that's great. We can use that to make this process even faster, but we're gonna start from step 1 and just go along the way. So first off, you wanna go ahead and get an authorized user, okay? Essentially what an authorized user is, if a friend of yours, if anyone really, a family member gets you on their credit account, you essentially inherit that history they have on that account. And if this is an old credit account with great credit limits and good history, you're gonna inherit that. This is gonna be like a head start, okay? Essentially what this establishes is comparable credit. And that's what lenders are gonna be looking at when you go to the bank, you say you want a credit card, you want any type of loan, they're gonna look, okay, what do you have already? They're gonna see, oh, okay, your mom put you on that 10K credit card. That's gonna drastically improve your chances because they're gonna see, okay, he has credit history. Even though you don't even need to have the card yourself, it's just reporting onto your history. You could literally have your family member order the card, keep it for themselves, rip it up, it doesn't matter. The card, you don't ever have to use the card. They'll keep making the payments how they usually do. They keep the utilization low, and that card has aged. So let's say you just turned 18, right? You could get a 5-year-old credit history from an authorized user card, okay? So that's definitely something that's gonna make this process a lot smoother, a lot easier. So from there, you wanna go ahead and start a relationship with Chase, right? Chase is one of the most generous banks out there. They're a tier 1 bank for a reason. They're giving out huge limits. They're very generous. You're gonna have a great time going with them. So, and they're all around the country. So that's why I advise you to go ahead, start a relationship with them. Get a personal account. You could go into a branch. That's ideal because then you could actually meet the banker, but that doesn't need to be done on this step, right? For now, just open that personal checking account. You could do it online and just season the account. Use your normal transactions. Make sure you have money coming in there, cycling through the account. Just create normal activity. They see you're a real person, you're using this account, and you're establishing good business with them. Now that you have this checking account with Chase, go ahead and create an LLC with your state and make sure it's in a low risk industry. Nothing related to automobiles. You want to choose very attractive to lend to industries like e-commerce, consulting, marketing, advertising, where generally your operating cost is going to be a lot lower than a high risk industry, all right? And even if, let's say you already have an LLC, you already have a business established and it isn't a high risk industry, still go ahead and create that new LLC. You can have this new LLC essentially be a sister company to your existing LLC. So let's say you're in trucking, you go ahead and create a consulting business for trucking companies and have that be the sister company to your LLC. And making an LLC is super easy. You can just use a service like Busy or LegalZoom. They'll open it up for you for free. They'll try to throw a bunch of upsells at you. Get the LLC itself and you'll get that for free. And then from there, go get an EIN with the IRS and that'll make sure you're able to open any type of banking account with it. Now that you got the LLC, open a business checking account with Chase. This time, if you haven't already, I want you to go into a branch and specifically shake hands with the banking relationship manager there. Doing this will make it a lot easier when you need credit in the future, because they're already gonna know you in person, not just online on your checking account, but they're also gonna know you in real life. So let's say you want a higher limit, they're gonna be able to vouch for you. They're gonna be able to get that home run, okay? Now that you met your relationship manager, you have that business checking account, you're gonna season that and you're gonna start stacking some personal credit cards, okay? You're gonna go with Chase. Firstly, because they have a limit on how many credit cards you can open within 2 years to still get new credit with them. So we're gonna make sure we approach Chase first, okay? Not only that, but Chase has very attractive credit card bonuses. They have a great travel program where you can redeem any points that you get through this process for much more than what they're usually worth, okay? So first, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get this Chase Freedom Unlimited card. As I mentioned before, you're gonna get access to Chase, their whole point portal. You'll get a 20K point sign up bonus, which normally that'll give you a $200 value. But if you hold on to it for now and keep stacking these points towards later in the process, it's gonna be worth much more. From here, you're also gonna wanna stop using debit cards. You're gonna wanna put all of your purchases on the credit card. Make sure you pay your balance 5 days before the statement date so you're not reporting any balances, all right? And we're about to get into that as well in a second. Another thing is this card, like many of the cards we're gonna get into later in the video, you'll have 0% interest on any purchases you make for the first 15 months, which is great. But for this card, you're gonna, since this is your first credit card in your name, you're gonna have a little bit of a small limit, all right? So you're not gonna be able to do too much with that. And not only that, like I mentioned before, you're not gonna wanna carry balances each month because that's gonna rack up your utilization. So you're gonna use that card. Every purchase you make sure you're using your Chase card, make sure you're using a credit card, stop using debit cards. From there, we're gonna just keep doing this for a few months. We're gonna make sure your Experian is good. Make sure there's nothing on there that you don't know about. Make sure everything's in good standing. You're able to see your accounts. Make sure everything's getting paid on time and it's getting reported that way. You can either use Experian or MyScore IQ to monitor your credit reports. I'll drop the link for both of those in the description. But as we go on, 3 months later, 90 days of using that card, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get another card. And this time we're gonna go a little bit bigger. We're gonna get this United Travel card with Chase. It'll get you a free check bag, club lounge access at airports, and a 60K point sign up bonus. This is nice. You're gonna get typically 5 to 10K limit. You'll see as we go through this process, your limits are only gonna get higher and higher and higher. But we're not done yet, okay? Another 90 days, now you've warmed up your credit, you got a great relationship with Chase, they're gonna let you get that Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Right off the bat, we're starting with a 10K minimum limit. Remember how I was talking about comparable credit before? This is gonna look great because now you have a 10K, at least 10K credit limit on your own personal credit, which is gonna make it look even better when you go ahead and apply for business credit cards. Not only that, you get a 125K point bonus. We're gonna hold on to these points and save it for that 5-star travel that I know you want. You also get 3x points on food and travel and a multiplier on points you redeem. So all those points that you've been accumulating these past few months are worth even more now, along with a ton more travel benefit, okay? So while you're getting these first 3 cards, you're gonna wanna make sure you have at least one of the following. You want either a personal loan, a mortgage, a student loan, or a car loan, okay? And this might be intimidating at first. You might think, oh, I don't wanna, pay a ton of interest. There's ways around this. If you don't wanna get one of these loans, or if you don't already have one, a great way to get those on your credit without racking up unnecessary interest, you can go ahead and get a Navy Federal pledge loan. Essentially what this is, when you have a relationship with Navy Federal, you can ask them to put money away in a savings account for you and loan that exact amount of money back to you. And from there, you can just pay off 90% of that loan, get the money you had in the savings account, and from there, now you have a great personal loan. It's what's essentially a personal loan on your credit in great standing. You can choose however much you want to put away for this, right? As I mentioned before, comparable credit. You're gonna get a better value on it by getting a higher loan amount. Like I was saying before, if you just pay 90% of it right away, you get that 90% right back. So if you started a $10,000 pledge loan, had that put away in the savings, and then they lend you a 10K as well, you can literally put 9K of the 10K they give you into the pledge loan. They give you 9K back. Now you've got a loan that's in great standing. It looks like you've paid 90% of it off and you have that great established comparable credit. And of course, a lot of you might be asking, how do I even get in with Navy Federal in the first place? Anyone who's related to a veteran or active military can easily get access. You can also get a referral code and drop a comment. I'll share a few out there for you guys. Another way you could speed up the process and have credit diversity is rent reporters. So if you're already paying rent, you can use a service like Rent Reporters, and they will report the rent that you're already paying on time, and that will show essentially like a loan. All right. So between either the pledge loan and the rent reporting, you've got 3 credit cards, you've got 1 authorized user, and you've got a loan. This is very strong established credit for someone who just started a few months ago. To quickly break down what makes up your credit score, the most important thing is payment history, okay? Late payments are gonna kill your score. You never wanna be late, all right? If you already have a late, there are ways to address this. But bottom line is you do not want to have a missed payment. Make sure you have auto pay on, and make sure you're not spending more than you would normally spend on your debit card. Make sure you're spending money you actually have. The second biggest factor is how much you owe. This is what we usually call utilization. If you have a $10,000 credit card and you owe $9,000 on the balance, that's gonna look a little rough compared to if you've paid off 90% of the limit, like with the loan, the pledge loan we were talking about before, and you have $1,000 that you're using. So ideally with credit cards, we don't wanna show any utilization. We wanna make sure we're paying before the statement date, so it's always showing a 0% utilization, especially when you're going to apply for a new card. Another factor is having too many new accounts. Essentially, banks don't want to feel like you're thirsty, like you're always looking for new. This is why there's a strategy to this. This is why we're doing these cards one at a time. And when we eventually do start grabbing a bunch of cards at once, we're making sure that these don't appear on our personal credit. Another thing that's important is the length of your credit history. One of the major reasons why we got the authorized user. We want to have an established history that also shows on-time payments, because that's all they want. They want to know that you're a good person to lend to. Types of credit, like I was saying before, credit diversity. This is why we got the pledge loan. This is why we got the rent reporters, whichever one you got there, as well as the credit cards. This credit mix makes it look like you can tackle any type of debt they put onto you, all right? Now that we've explained that, we're gonna get into the exciting part, all right? We're gonna get into business credit. You wanna go ahead and get one of the premium cards from American Express. You want to get either the gold or the platinum card. Really, it's a decision between whether you like food or travel more. Either way, you're starting a premium relationship with Amex. Of course, you might get higher limits with them in the future if you decide to go with the platinum card just because it's a higher annual. That might improve your chances on getting one of these next card we're about to discuss at an even higher limit. Now we're really getting into it. This is your first credit stack. This is gonna be the easiest one for your new LLC, all right? And we're gonna get the American Express Business Plus card. Right off the bat, you're getting 0% interest for 12 months. Not only that, these give you a way higher limit than the personal cards you've dealt with in the past, of course, because as a business, you're gonna need to spend more to make more. The personal card, you're just using this on your everyday purchases. So you're gonna get a higher limit. And not only that, you can request a credit limit increase. If you get the card and then immediately they give you a $10,000 limit, you can call them and be like, hey, I'd like a credit limit increase, or you might not even need to call. You can do it through the app, but you can request a credit limit increase up to 3 times what you received. So if you got a $10,000 limit on your approval, you can go ahead and request a $30,000 limit on this card. And a lot of the time they will give it to you. And not only that, you can apply for the business cash card at the same time you get approved for the Business Plus card. And typically you're gonna get the same or a similar limit. Why we got the platinum card in the first place, this is how you get the more favorable limits with the Amex business cards. Not only that, Amex has this thing where once you get one credit card with them, they're not gonna pull your credit anymore for any more cards you get for them. So these business cards, there's not going to be an inquiry. It's not going to show up on your personal credit. You can max these out. You could spend that whole limit, get 0% interest on it. Don't pay it off until the 11th month and you're good. It's not going to ding your personal credit. The utilization does not matter on business cards. That's the beauty of it, okay? So now we're gonna get into the Chase cards. Before we do, I want you to understand that having a relationship manager at the bank is so important, especially with Chase. Amex, of course, they don't have physical branches, so it doesn't matter with them. But you want to go in and you want to shake hands with the same banker that you talked to before when you open the business checking account. Make sure you have their card or whatever it may be, so you're easily able to set an appointment with them, no issues there. Make sure you seasoned your Chase business account for at least 30 days, but the longer the better. The more amount of money you're able to cycle through it, the better, okay? Always say you're employed. Always put on your applications that you're employed by your own business. You don't want to put it as self-employed because the algorithm, the AI that goes through the underwriting process, they're not even going to factor. It's just automatically going to think you're like selling t-shirts on the side of the street or something, you know? Employed, just, it sounds more stable, and you truly are employed by your business. So put employed on your applications. Not only that, you want to be optimistic with your estimated revenue and your monthly spend. So if you're going to apply for a business card, why would they give you a $10,000, $20,000 limit if you're saying you're only going to spend $1,000 a month, you know? So be optimistic with your spend, be optimistic with your revenue. I mean, what are you even watching this video for if you're not trying to make millions of dollars, you know? So be optimistic. You want the absolute best for yourself, the best you can do this year. Put that as your estimated revenue. The more employees, the better. You can count future hires. If you have 0 employees right now, but you expect to hire a few employees in the next 6, 12 months, that's fine. Make sure you count them. All right. This is no docs. So when you go and you're applying for these business cards, they're not going to be asking you for tax returns, bank statements, all that. So this is instant approvals. This is why we're putting in all this work with these relationships, and we're giving our personal credit. So we're making sure everything is bulletproof. So why would they need to ask for docs if you've got a great credit score at this point, you know, great credit history? All right. Now we're going to get into the Chase cards, and we can apply for the Chase Business Unlimited. Again, 0% interest for 12 months. You'll get higher limits with your relationship manager. If you don't know how to go in the bank and shake hands with someone and get them on a first name basis, talk to us. We have a network of bankers all across the country that can help you out, and you don't even need to meet them in person. You'll also get a 75 to 100K point sign up bonus, which we're really racking it up here. This is thousands of dollars worth of travel already, and this is just a few credit cards in. Real quick, another thing to mention with these business cards from Amex, you see how I said you can request a 3x limit? You're typically going to get the 3x limit on one of these. You're not going to get it for both. If you get a 10K limit on this card on approval and you upgrade that to a 30K limit, and then you get a 15K limit or a 10K limit on this one, you're already at $40,000, $45,000. We're getting close. We're almost halfway there to 100K. Now, these Chase cards, right? They're very similar to the Amex cards. 0% limits. They're both got huge welcome bonuses. Like I said, thousands of dollars of benefits. At this point, you're gonna complete the 524, which is, as I mentioned before, you've gotten your 5 cards from Chase within a 2-year span of time. You're not gonna be able to get more cards from them for a little while, at least on the personal side. But that's okay. Between these 4 cards right here, you're gonna have 90 to 110K between these cards. There are some crazy approvals that people get with Chase. This is someone who I've worked with personally. And the beauty of this is when you do need another business card, we'll go into that in a minute too, how you can keep stacking this process with multiple LLCs. Let's say you made a new business after you already went through this whole process. You already got these 2 Chase cards and got a 50K limit on them, right? You a 50K limit between, so 25 on the business unlimited, 25 on the business cash. Now, when you do this process again with a new LLC, which you can do the same exact process, get another 12 months of 0% interest. You can roll over these 2 limits into your new cards that you open with the new LLC. So essentially, if you do this whole process again, and now you have 2 25K cards with LLC 1, and now you have 2 25K Chase cards with LLC 2, you can roll all of these limits into one card, get over 100K on one card, and a refreshed new 0% limit. It's crazy stuff. And you're gonna see how this just keeps compiling. You're gonna have more and more and more money at your disposal to throw into whatever investments you want to go into. Now that we're talking about your next LLC, you're gonna want to delete personal inquiries when you're applying for all these cards. Typically, when you apply for business credit cards, you're gonna get an inquiry on your personal credit, but that's okay because they're not attached to a personal account. So you can easily just go and get those removed. From there, now you've got clean credit. Business cards that you're maxing out to utilize the 0% interest are not reporting on your personal credit. You still have great personal credit. You can do the process all over again with other tier 1 lenders like US Bank, Bank of America, and there are so many more banks where you can utilize this same strategy with all around the country in different states. If you need help with locating more banks that have these offers, or maybe you already burned bridges with Chase or Amex in the past, we can help you out there as well. Like I said before, we have a nationwide network of bankers who can get you 0% interest credit cards at high limits. Now that you've gotten 100K at 0% interest, you can deploy it into anything. Of course, you want to do your due diligence, make sure you're being smart with it. But if you found this video, you already heard of all the different ways people are making money online. I want you to be smart and strategic. Find one that you've tried on a small scale. And then if that works, you could put more and more and more of this money that you funded into it. Personally, I put 35K at 0% interest in AI stocks and turned it into $126,000 in 9 months. This is me sitting back, doing nothing, literally just following trades by a certain politician who I could talk a bit more about in the next video. But that's a very easy, hands-free way of doing it. Of course, you're gonna see even crazier returns investing in yourself, making your own personal brand, your own e-commerce business, however you want to do it, business equipment. The list goes on. Like I said, use proven strategies. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. And really think like a multimillionaire. Stop thinking about how you can make a quick $1,000, a quick $2,000 to pay your rent. Think big. I want you to think, how can I make $10 million? How can you make $10 million in a year or two? Your mind is going to open to much bigger investment opportunities, and you're not going to be stuck in the rat race way of thinking. So if you've gotten through all of this, give yourself a pat on the back, all right? Not too many people are going to watch through something that it's going to actually better them and not just be mindless entertainment. If this whole process seems like way too much for you to do, it's too time consuming, you have too much going on in your business life and personal life as it is, we offer a done for you solution at Clarity Capital, where essentially we connect you with bankers. We make sure your profile is structured the correct way so you can get the maximum amount of 0% interest funding. And even if your credit isn't the best and you need funds quickly, we can still help cash flowing businesses. I'm gonna drop a link below in the description. You'll get on a quick call with my team and we'll see if you qualify for either 0% funding or quick revenue-based lending for your cash flowing business. If you do have negatives, seek credit repair on your personal credit. It's gonna pay off in the long run. As you've already seen, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can obtain hundreds of thousands of dollars to leverage and utilize in your business from having good personal credit. So if you need to, invest in credit repair. Share this video with your friends, share it to someone who could use it. At the end of the day, we're trying to help people out here. We're trying to enlighten people with the power of credit.